classical education is really a focus on the way that someone thinks, the forming of a whole person. We want this child to be a whole person, and we want them to be able to think. We don't want them to just be able to answer questions, to score a certain grade on a test. So we don't teach to a test, but it's about learning how to think, how to wonder, how to activate that life of the mind, and to see that all knowledge in a Catholic classical education, we really see that all knowledge is interrelated in God. Mm-hmm. So it is a search for truth, beauty, and goodness. Mm-hmm. And for us, the thing that I really like to say, that's different about other classical schools is that we know that truth has a name, and his name is Jesus Christ. And so all that we study, when we study music or art or chemistry, physics, Euclidean geometry, even PE, right? That we see all this relates back to the truth of the person that is Jesus Christ. And we enter into this process of learning with, you can say the tradition of the church. You could also say the tradition of Western civilization, right? Going back to the roots of the Western civilization and asking the same kinds of questions. Who is man? Who are we made to be, right? What is truth? Can truth be known? What is the relationship between faith and reason? These kinds of questions that our students each day are looking at primary sources, real books. We don't scroll on tablets or something, but we have real books that our students are reading, and they're reading great sources. They're reading the works of Homer and Virgil. They're reading Boethius and St. Thomas Aquinas. They're reading the fathers of the church. And this is forming the basis of their educational life. So when we look at the question of classical education, it's really, a return to the great sources, what some people call the great books. And it's, for us, telling this story of salvation history. Our kind of spine course of the curriculum is called Catholic Culture, which is not a course name that you really find anywhere else. This is a really beautiful course. The sequence was designed so that it would be integrated humanities, taught in this historical or timeline kind of lens. And so the students study literature and history and philosophy together, starting with the ancients and working towards the present day.
Now, you mentioned the pillars. Could you explain that?
Absolutely. So the school is founded on 4 pillars. The first is sacred worship. And so the centerpiece of our school day, actually the first thing we do actually every morning, is go to daily mass all together. So this is not something that is just offered that some students choose to go to, but it's something that by choosing to come here, everyone goes to daily mass together. Mm-hmm. And that's a beautiful experience because it's a bonding of our community in a particular way. Yes, each student has the opportunity to sit before our Lord every morning, but also each student is formed more and more into members of that body together, right? And so I also think the students like that, nobody's making you do anything right away. Actually, early in the morning, there's no test at 8 a.m. But you just sit before our Lord each morning, and our students go willingly. We've never had to, chase a student out of the building and say, okay, go to mass. They all get up and run over to the church for mass.
And I understand they participate and have different roles as well. Huh?
They do, absolutely. And that's a beautiful thing about the life of Cathedral High School is we're also at a cathedral parish. And so the students are serving for the mass. The students are singing for daily mass. But they're also learning the authentic meaning of participation. So whether you're in the pew or in the loft or anywhere else, that authentic participation is first of all interior, and then it becomes exterior. So wherever they are, they're really learning, I think, the true meaning of that. One of the things that's really beautiful about the life of the cathedral parish here is how much everybody sings. And so when you come to mass on Sunday here, everybody is really singing with a robust, vigorous sound on the hymnody and everything else. And that's part of the expectation for our students, is that you enter into that, whether you're the cantor or not, for the mass, you are still singing robustly in all the parts that you were going to sing.